let's look at this wcschools.com. We are learning this tutorial. Among many tutorials, we finished this one, HTML and CSS tutorials, and we are learning JavaScript tutorial. Here you can click and you can come here. In last lecture we learned about here until here JavaScript commands. From this chapter we learn in this lecture. Let's click. Okay, after enlarging a little bit, okay, this is about the variables. In other programming language, you learned already about these variables, and conceptually this variable is almost the same, especially to the C language variables. Here JavaScript variables are containers like other programming language in the memory for storing data values. For example, here these variable names x, y, and z, those are variables and containing some values like this. This is so basic contents because you learned already about this variable in other language like C language. Thus I will try to explain only key points, and I'll try focus on that. Here in the above example, x stores the value 5 and y stores the value 6, and the z here, this one is the summation, addition of x and y. Thus the result will be 11. Thus this z stores the value 11. And if we are using other variable names like that, and we can get the same result. In programming, just like in algebra, we use variables to hold values. In programming, just like in algebra, we use variables in expressions like this. From this example above, we can calculate the total to be 11, as we looked at already. Thus, in summary, JavaScript variables are containers for storing data values. Those containers are located in the memory and in the certain area with some address that can be identified and that can be located. Here, let's look at these identifiers. And this one is explained about that variables. All JavaScript variables must be identified with unique names. These unique names are called identifiers. And the general rules for constructing names for variables are like other programming language. Please remind the C language, and especially that variables. Then names can contain letters, digits, underscore, and dollar signs. You should not use the numeric character when that the variable is starting with that numeric character. It is wrong. Thus you should not use for the first character for that variable with the numeric number. Names must begin with a letter. Names can also begin with dollar sign or underscore, underline here, but we will not use in this tutorial. Some example may be shown later. And in JavaScript we should be careful about that sensitivity of the letter. Names are case sensitive. That means uppercase character and the lowercase character, those are different. Even though those are same, if that is lowercase, and depending upon that, the lowercase or uppercase, that is called case sensitivity. There's Y, small character, uppercase, lowercase letter, and uppercase letter. Y are different variables. And also we should avoid to use reserved words for our variables. Conceptually that is same in other program language. Reserved words can be the JavaScript keywords, and those reserved words, that means keywords, cannot be used as names for variables. In summary, JavaScript identifiers are case sensitive. Okay, we learned already about this assignment in other program language. This is exactly the same. If we are assigning the right side to the left side, then that is called assignment operator. If we are using twice the equal character, then that is checking whether that is same or not. The equal to operator is written like this. This is not assignment. And we learn about those comparison operator later. JavaScript data types. There are several data types in JavaScript, and let's look at here numeric data type, and this is character string data type. Even though we are using single quote here instead of this double quote, all of them, those are character string. When we are declaring the JavaScript variables with the var keyword, then we can declare the JavaScript variables like this. Car name that is been declared. After that declaration, the variables has no value like this, in the previous example like this, then it is containing the value that is undefined, value. But if we are assigning it a certain value to this variable, this equal sign assignment, then this variable is containing that value instead of that undefined value. When you are assigning a value at the same time, when we are declaring the variable, at the same time we can initialize. That is called initial value. With a certain value, we can initialize the variable. Thus, it is containing that initial value. When we are declaring, we can assign that initial value. We can show that the result as an output on the screen in this way, and we learn about that scheme, how to show that output on the screen later several ways. One of them, in this way we can show that the result on the screen. Here, let's look at this real example here. Here I will not explain about the HTML elements here. Instead, I'll focus on that JavaScript statements enclosed with the script and closing /script. This one is JavaScript statements. And here car name is declared, and that initial value is variable character string, and we can show the result on the screen with this method. Get element is actually that method, and this one is specifying the demo here, and that means here the contents, initially that was empty, but the inner HTML means the contents here, and this one car name, this one is containing the verbal character string that will be shown here like this. And it's a single statement. We can declare many variables at the same time like this. And in that case, we should separate the variables with comma like this. There's variable name person and the initial value that is assigned and declared at the same time, and this one is also assigned to the variable and declared. And also this price, that variable name price is containing initial value 200, and at the same time that is declared with other variable names. Also, we can use multiple lines. Here, instead of single line, we can use other lines like that. In the previous example, we'll look at the undefined value. If that is not declared, when that is declared and that is not initialized with a certain value, then that variable is containing undefined value like this. This is the undefined value. Later we will learn about this. And also we have the type, undefined type, data type. Here we can redeclare. That means we can overlap the declaration with another declaration statement like this. Even though we are declaring later again that the variable is containing the same initial value like this. Here, this one is declared. At the same time, the initial value was assigned, but later this one is declared. But if this one is not here, then this one is containing undefined value, but this one is containing initial verbal character string. Thus, this one is still containing that. Thus, later, if we are trying to show that result on the screen, then we can see the result like that. And if I am trying to make this comment statement like this, to neglect this statement, then let's look at. Then this car name, as we learned already, that is containing undefined value like that. JavaScript arithmetic. Using the arithmetic operator like the plus, minus, we can calculate. And also this plus sign can be used in two ways. One is just numeric addition. Another one is character string concatenation operator. Depending upon the operand, then may be decided. Thus we should check. And here at least one operand is character or character string, then this plus this character is working as a concatenation operator like this. Those character strings are concatenated together, and we can see the result on the screen. Okay, here similarly the operand of this operator, left side operator will be calculated, and that will be used the first time, and on the right side that is the sequence for that. There's left side that will be calculate first. There's 5. Let's look at this one. Left operand 5 character, and the right side, even though that is numeric number, this one is being used for concatenation operator. There's 5 and 2. and pipe and 2, those are character string. There's if we are checking this one in next operation, and then this one is working as a concatenation operator, because this pipe 2, that is character string. This pipe 2 3 will be the result for that, like this. Okay, after closing some open tabs, let's continue. Okay, if we are considering this one, then this one will be calculated first, and this operand, those are pure numeric number. Thus this one is just arithmetic operator, addition. 2 plus 3, that is simply 5. And if we are looking this one for next operation, then this one will be the 5, or this operand is 5, that means that is character. Thus this one is concatenation operator. This previous result 5 and 5, those are concatenated as a character string. The result will be like this, 5 5. JavaScript $. Remember that JavaScript identifiers must begin with a letter or a $, or an underscore. Anyone we can use for our variable names. If we are using that $, let's look at this one. Since JavaScript treats $, as a letter, identifiers containing valid variable names. This is valid variable name, and this is another valid variable name, different from this. Also, this one is different one, and we have 3 different variable names here. JavaScript underscore. Since JavaScript treats underscore as a letter, identifiers containing underscore valid variable names. Also, if we are focusing on that underscore here, this one and this one, those are different variable names. But in terms of the convention among professional programmers, usually this one is used as an alias for private, that means hidden variables, or this underscore that can be used for that variable. When that variable is starting with that underscore, then that will be used like this. Later we learn about jQuery. In the JavaScript library jQuery, after finishing JavaScript, we learn about this. The main function $, that will be used to select HTML elements. In jQuery, we learn this one later, and in that case, we should be careful about using this $, as a variable name, because we are using this $, in this jQuery later. Thus, let's look at this explanation. Using the $, is not very common in JavaScript, but professional programmers often use it as an alias for the main function in a JavaScript library. Okay, you can try this exercise by yourself. Let's move to the next. Even though we learned some operators in the previous example, previous chapters, let's try to learn again a little bit more in detail about them. Assign values to variables and add them together, and this 5 is assigned to the x variable and 2 is assigned to that y variable, and we can calculate, and that result will be assigned to that variable named z. Thus, this is so common even in other program language. This one is being used for assignment. I'll skip some very simple contents, and let's look at these summarized operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform arithmetic on numbers. Thus, we can use these for subtraction, multiplication, and exponentiation, and division. And this percent means modular. That means the remainder after division. That is the result. And this one will be used like a select, increment, and decrement. And also we can use these operators. Assignment operators assign values to JavaScript variables. For example, if we are using this plus equal sign, then that means that is exactly the same like this, exactly like in C language operator. The others exactly the same like that. String operators. This plus operator can be used for two ways depending upon the condition. That means depending upon the operand that the operator, whether that is concatenation operator or that is addition of operator, that will be decided. And here, if we are using this plus and at least one operand is character or character string, then that will be called concatenation operator. This one is concatenating both operands together. Thus this plus equal and this one is character string, then this one is concatenation operator, and those will be concatenated together like this. Here text 1, text 2, and those are concatenated together, and that will be assigned, the final result will be assigned to this paragraph as a contents. That is the contents for that, this character string after concatenation. In summary, when used to one string, the plus operator is called the concatenation operator, as we learned. Here then we can apply this one in this example. Here numeric number, then this one is pure arithmetic operator, addition operator, and here this one is character, thus this one is concatenation operator. Also this one is concatenation operator. Thus result will be like this. Let's look at these comparison operators. And as we learned briefly in the previous example, if we are using twice the equal character twice here, then that means equal to. We can compare whether that is equal or not. And if we are using this triple equal sign here, then that is checking the value as well as the type, data type. This exclamation means not equal, and the not equal value or not equal type, and this means greater than, this means less than. And this one will be used for ternary operator, we'll learn later. And the logical operator, this one is AND, and the double pipe, this means logical OR, and this means not. And also we'll use this one later. Let's look at this summarized one first, and we'll use this one in other application. As also we learn a little more in detail about them. JavaScript type operator. This is also operator, type of. With this one we can find out what kind of type, data type, and this one is returning the data type of that variable. And this instance of operator is returning true if an object is an instance of an object type. And let's look at these bitwise operators. Think about some detailed circuitry, detailed logic design, and in that case we are learning about some binary value and that operation, and that is called bitwise operation. And for that bitwise operation we can use these bitwise operators, and or even though that is decimal number, that should be converted to this binary number, and we can calculate. That is called the binary operation, and these 0, 0, 0, 1, and the others are different, and only last one is same. Thus that means 0, 0, 0, 1. That is the result. And if we are converting back to the decimal number, that will be 1. Conceptually the others are same, like the truth table or in logic design, detailed circuitry course. Probably you might have learned already about this. Tilde, this one is meaning not operation. This operator is inverting 0, 1, 0, 1. The 0 is inverted to 1 and 1 is inverted to 0. In that way, this one is the result for that. If we are converting to the decimal number, that will be 10. This one is exclusive OR operator. That means if 1, 0, 0 and if those are okay, this 0, 0, 0, 1. Last one is in both case 1. That means in that case that is 0 in this exclusive OR. Excuse me. Thus, the result will be 0, 1, 0, 0, and that is 4 in decimal number. Also, we can use this shift left, shift right, and 0 field right shift. That means here 0, 1, 0, 1 shift to left. Then this one will go out. This one will be here. This 0 will be here, and 1, 0, 1, 0, like that. Shift right is in different direction. 1 will go out, and 0 will be there here, and 1 will be the here in the second position. This is first position, second, third, first position. And 0, 0, 1, 0, that means that is 2 in decimal number. Okay, you can try others. Okay, this one is being repeated again, even though we learned already about this. Okay, we can skip this one and you can refer to them. In terms of the precedence of the arithmetic operation, if we are using this parentheses, then the parentheses inside of that will be calculated first, and the result will be calculated later with other operand. Okay, I'll skip some simple contents. Yes, mainly this one is about subtraction, this one is about multiplication, division, and remainder. We can, to get the remainder, we can use this modulus operator. This percent means modular operator. We can get the result, that will be the remainder after dividing. The result will be 1, like this. increment operator. X will be incremented, then 6, that will be decrementing operator. If we are using that subtract character twice, then that will be the decrement operator. And if we are using twice that asterisk, then that means exponentiation operator. That means that is the here x. Okay, I'll enlarge a little bit, then you can see in a single line x to the power 2, that x is here 5, then 5 to the power 2, that means 5 multiply with 5, that means 25 will be the result for that. In other way we can do that. Later we learn about that math object later, and here power is the method for that. With this one we can calculate the power. X is here 5, and 5 to the power 2, that is the 25. In other way we can calculate in that way. In terms of the operator precedence, there is some priority in terms of the precedence. Which one will be calculated, operated first time? Depending upon that, the result may be different. Thus, we should be careful about that. Like our ordinary calculation, here simply we can calculate this one first, exactly like that. That is the precedence. That means this multiplication operator is calculated first time instead of this plus operator. Thus, this one is in terms of precedence, higher precedence, or in terms of the priority, higher priority calculation. And we can see the table for that precedence. These plus and minus, those are in the same precedence level, then the left side will be calculated first usually, and this one is calculated first, and later the result will be calculated into this one. Let's look at this operator precedence table. And the operator, this one will be, if this value is higher, then that is higher priority, that means higher precedence. That means that will be operated prior than others. This one, function call new, and postfix increment. This is after this, that is called postfix increment. After this, postfix decrement. If that is before that, then that is called prefix increment. This postfix increment and postfix decrement, those are in higher precedence level. That means that will be calculated or operated prior to this one. Okay, you can report to others. Okay, let's move to the next. Okay, let's look at this one before going to the next chapter. In summary, expressions in parentheses are fully computed before the value is used in the rest of the expression. Even though we learn about assignment, and we used many times in the previous examples, and we'll look at this one again, because this wsrisks.com contains here, this one is repeating again and again. A little more in detail about them later. And this one is being repeated again. Operator like this. And this one, for example, and that means like that, exactly same as in the C language operator. here assignment, and this one assignment operator, also this one. After multiplication, it is 10 and 5, those are multiplied. After that, that result will be assigned to the x, and finally that will be the 50. So simple, as we learned already in C language. Thus you can simply compare these JavaScript operators to the C language operator. Then you can remember, you can understand better after that comparison, because almost the same. Both these are almost the same. Sometimes they may be similar, but almost the same. This is modulo operator. Okay, you can try others. JavaScript data types. JavaScript data types, even though we learned briefly in the previous chapter, we'll learn about this a little more in detail. JavaScript variables can hold many data types, numbers, for example here, and strings like this, and object like this. With these curly braces, that means that this object here, name and value pair, property name and property value, property name and value pair, those are included in these curly braces, embedded in that curly braces. That is called object. We can declare that object in this way. Thus this number and string and object, those are called data types, the name of data types. In programming, data type is an important concept, and to be able to operate on variables, it is important to know something about the data type. And without data types, a computer cannot safely solve this. And here, even though we learned already in the previous example, this data type is numeric number, and this data type is string. And this operand, depending upon that operand, that will be decided whether that is arithmetic operator, addition operator, or concatenation operator. And this one is data type is numeric number, and this data type is string data type. And at least one is string data type, then that will be used as a concatenation operator. The result will be 16 verbal. Here also here we can get the same result. Here we can see different result. This one will be used first, this one will be calculated first. This one, the operand, both operands numeric number, there's numeric data type, there's this one is used as a pure addition operator, there's 20. After that, this one is string, there's this one is working as a concatenation operator, there's 20 verbal, that is the result for that. Here in different way, this one will be used first, both sides will be checked, and this one is concatenation operator, verbal 16. After that, that is character string, and this one is also used as a concatenation operator, thus we can get the result like that. And the JavaScript data types are dynamic, that means that can be changed. JavaScript has dynamic types. This means that same variables can be used to hold different data types. For example, here x initially undefined, but later that is assigned, this 5, that is numeric data type assigned to this x, thus the x is number data type, but later John, character string assigned to that, thus this x, even though that is same variable name, this one is string data type. Thus in that way, dynamically, that the data type can be changed in JavaScript. Okay, you can look at others. Those are simple contents. I'll skip. Here, if we are trying to use this string, then we can use double quote or single quote. But if we want to embed another quote inside, then that quote should be different. Outside is double quote and inside should be single. Outside is single, then inside should be double quote. Number, and this one is exponential notation number. And also we can use the Boolean value. Boolean value means true or false. Here we can compare whether the x and y, those values are same or not. And if they are same, x equal y, then the result will be true. Boolean value true. X and y, 5 and 6, those are different. The result will be false. That is Boolean value. And that Boolean value can be used for if conditional statement later. We will use them later in following chapters. Arrays, we can we can many variables at the same time into this scheme, this square bracket. That means inside of that array elements enumerated here. JavaScript arrays are written into square bracket like that in other program language like C. And those array items are separated by commas like that. Object, with these curly braces we can declare object. This person is object because we are using these curly braces. Inside of that we can see this name and the value pair, name value, name value, name value pair. We can declare like that. This is person object declaration. Here 4 properties, these property names, 4 properties here. And as we learned already about this type of operator. We can check whether that is this kind of type or that kind of type. We can check with this type of operator. Let's look at this one. This character string, even though that is empty character string, that is still data type is still string. And this one is John character string. Of course that is string, and also those are character strings. And the data type is string data type. Here number, pure number, those are all number data types. Here, as we learned already, if that is not containing any initial value, when that is declared, then that is containing no value, and this one is the value is undefined, and also the type is undefined. Here car, undefined, value undefined is assigned to that, then car, type of car, that is undefined. Here verbal, even though verbal that is initially assigned to that variable name car, later undefined is reassigned to that variable name car, then the car is containing undefined value. Thus car is here undefined, containing undefined, and type of that car is undefined. If we are removing this one, if this comment statement, we can remove that, then we can see the different result. Volvo, here Volvo, and that car, Volvo is character string, string type, data type, like that. Okay, empty value. Even though that is empty string, nothing here, that is string data type, like this. Car is assigned to this empty string, then still that is car is empty string, and nothing is shown here. And if we are checking the data type of that car, that is string here. Okay, after closing some open tabs, let's continue. Null. in JavaScript, null is nothing. It is supposed to be something that doesn't exist, but unfortunately, it is a little bit complicating. In JavaScript, the data type of null is an object data type. It is a little bit complicating, but at this moment you don't need to worry about that. Type of null is an object. This person can be this is initially object, and if we are initializing again into this null, then still this one person is object data type. But if we are assigning the undefined value, then this person is not object. Here, even though that was object, we can reassign, and we can change the data type, and the data type is being automatically being changed to this assigned value, depending upon that assigned value. This undefined. Thus, this person is undefined data type. Okay, let's try. Here we are checking, even though that is okay. Let's look at this person, that is object, and the person later reassign you to this undefined value. But okay, after finishing this one, we can change this one. We can look at other result. Here we can see this person, and here that is undefined later, because that is reassigned to this undefined value. But if we are removing this one with this comment statement, we can eliminate that statement here, and let's learn again. Then you can see this person is here, a valid one, and if we are checking that person here, then that is object data type, and it is showing that data type. Or let's look at here type of, like our previous example. You can see this person is object. If we are removing this one, and that means that is meaningful, then the last one will be applied, and that will be effective. This type of that will be undefined, like this. Okay, you can check this. If we are comparing with this double equal sign and triple equal, and depending upon that, the result will be different. This one is checking the value only, and this one is checking the value as well as the data type. And those are different pairs. If that value then may be same, the result will be true in that case. Primitive data. The definition of the primitive data value is a single simple data value with no additional properties and method like this: string, number, boolean, undefined. Primitive data value. Primitive data, those are. And this one is a little bit complex data. Type of operator can return one of two complex types: function, object. If we are using this type of operator, object will return object. Also array will return object, and null will return object. That is, those are data types for them. If we are applying that type of operator here, function, then the result will be this one is returning function data type. The others, object, of course, that will return object data type. This array, that is returning object data type. Null, as we learned, that is a little bit complicating. Null, that is returning object data type. Okay, you can try others. Okay, this is the good point to wrap up today's lecture here, and we'll continue in next lecture, probably in lecture number 9 in next week. Okay, I will wrap up here.